What are the weirdest things that humans eat? There's plenty of foods that might seem strange to those who haven't tried them, but they're common for people in certain places or communities. Now, before we get into what this substance tastes like and how it's prepared, let's take a moment to talk about where it comes from. Castor oil is an odorless, brownish substance secreted by a gland located near the beaver's anus. But it doesn't just come out when beavers want it to. Well, since it comes from animals, it's not technically vegan, but yes, it is safe to eat. They're buying it for its unique flavor and aroma. And although it can be used that way, the distinct taste and aroma tend to make it better suited for desserts. They use Castoreum in their vanilla and raspberry ice creams. According to the company, the vanilla contains between 1 and 3% castor oil, while the raspberry has between 3 and 5%. That's a pretty small amount. Considering that it takes 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract to flavor a whole pint of ice cream. So what exactly does Castoreum taste like? Well, the best way to find out is to try it. And since ice cream is extremely popular throughout much of the United States, there's a decent chance you could stumble upon a Castoreum-flavored dessert there. After all, an estimated 90% of US households buy ice cream at least once per year. That's because Castoreum isn't widely used in Italy or anywhere else outside of North America. All you have to do is search online retailers, keeping in mind that it is a little pricey for such a small amount. Well, that depends on whether the beaver felt threatened. Now you know. Thanks for watching. Do you want to try Castoreum? Let us know in the comments section. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to check out our channel for more fun facts. According to the National Park Service, beavers rarely attack humans unless they feel threatened or are protecting their young. Even then, their attacks are rare and usually involve defensive bites rather than outright aggression. Beavers have been known to bite back if they feel threatened. Their teeth can inflict serious damage. A beaver's incisors are the second largest rodent teeth in the world, second only to the tooth of the extinct giant beaver. You could do what some people do and adopt a beaver. According to the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the average beaver weighs between 33 and 66 pounds. Assuming that someone wanted to get a pound of Castoreum, it would require the sacrifice of 33 beavers. That's out of a population of over 327 million people. But you don't necessarily have to buy some yourself. That's because it's already in some popular restaurants and dessert shops. Plenty of people choose not to use it due to its controversial nature. And there's no way to tell how many places that might be. The same goes for other countries where ice cream is popular. For instance, Italy consumes nearly 5 pounds of ice cream per person every year, making it one of the top 3 countries for ice cream consumption, right behind Finland and New Zealand. But what does it taste like? You mentioned earlier that it's often used as a vanilla flavoring, but that's not because it tastes exactly like vanilla. It's because they smell similar. In fact, Food and Wine magazine described the flavor as being similar to vanilla and rum, saying it's smooth and rich, not overpowering, but with a lot of depth. Plus, it's been used in desserts for hundreds of years. If it were dangerous, we probably would have heard about it by now. According to Healthline, Castoreum contains antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. After all, when you add a tiny amount of any flavoring to something, the end result tends to be fairly subtle. So it's unlikely that you'd be able to tell right away that a particular dessert had Castoreum in it unless it has a really powerful flavor. Believe it or not, it has a number of health benefits, including easing arthritis pain and strengthening bones. However, there isn't any scientific evidence to back these claims up. The glands open up into hair follicles, so the Castoreum has to be carefully scraped off the beaver as fur, which makes sense only because beavers spend so much time in water. From fermented shark meat to ants, there are lots of things that are considered delicacies by some people, including beavers. Let's take a look at the history of this unlikely ingredient. Legend has it that Castoreum was first used as a flavoring agent in the 17th century. Back then, European colonists had already depleted North America's supply of vanilla, so they began searching for a replacement. They eventually found it in the form of beaver Castoreum, which also happened to be in high demand for its medicinal qualities. Before long, recipes began popping up, calling for Castoreum to add flavor to desserts like ice cream. Well, not beavers per se, but a specific part of a beaver. So, what beaver body part do some people eat and why? In fact, in 1739, a law was passed in New France that mandated that trappers turn over all Castoreum they collected to their suppliers. These days, though, beavers are no longer overhunted for their butt juice, thanks to conservation efforts and beavers being adorable little buggers that everyone loves. Today, it's legal to buy and sell Castoreum in the United States and Canada. It can even be purchased online for about $30 for 4 ounces. It's about the same price as vanilla extract. Although it's not exactly a fair comparison, considering you need far more castor oil than vanilla to get the same effect. This is a special episode of What Are the Odds, where we explore all kinds of probabilities. And today, we're looking at one of the more unusual ingredients used in cooking around the world. The answer is the castoreum, a secretion from a gland near a beaver's backside. But why would anyone want to put beaver butt flavoring in their food? It's meant that beavers were hunted relentlessly, not just for their fur, but for their castoreum as well. Now you might be wondering if it's safe to consume, but let's face it, most people aren't buying castoreum for its health benefits. Considering its intense, musky smell, you'd think that castoreum would be used in savory dishes rather than sweets. One example is Greeters, a popular ice cream brand based in Cincinnati, Ohio. Some people say that castoreum gives the ice cream a slightly deeper, richer vanilla flavor, while others say it's impossible to notice any difference between their castoreum ice cream and their other vanilla flavors. In 2018, an ice cream shop called Oddfellows in New York City created a limited edition flavor called Strawberry Fields Forever. As the name implied, it contained both strawberries and castoreum. The idea was to combine the fruity taste of the strawberries with the vanilla notes of the castoreum to create a uniquely complex strawberry flavor. Unfortunately for fans of the combo, the ice cream didn't last long and has yet to make a comeback. And those are just 2 examples of castoreum being used in modern times. No doubt there are many other chefs and pastry chefs out there experimenting with the ingredient. But that brings up another question. What are the odds that the next time you go out for dessert, you'll be eating something with castoreum in it? Well, that depends entirely on how common castoreum is in the area you live in. Since castoreum was historically used in desserts like ice cream, it's likely to show up in places where that food item is popular. Now, just because you live in the US doesn't mean that you'll definitely encounter castoreum in your food. Unfortunately, though, it's extremely unlikely you'll find castoreum-flavored gelato anytime soon. But what if you really want to try castoreum? Well, it's actually surprisingly easy to get. So what are the odds that a beaver would attack you if you tried to harvest its castoreum? As for the odds of a beaver killing a human, well, it's never happened.